What's up everybody, this is BR, and I've been wondering, would Apex Legends actually benefit from a competitive ban list? If you don't know what a ban list is, it's basically just a set of restrictions on gameplay. Either to make gameplay more fair, or to stop gameplay styles that are just considered not competitive. Obviously, the ways that things are restricted is completely arbitrary, but you get the idea. The restrictions are there to make the competitive experience a lot better. Competitive ban lists used to be a lot more common in older competitive games, and that was because the competitive aspect of a game was not controlled by the developers. More than likely, the developers created the game trying to have the most fun as possible with it, without giving too much thought on the competitive aspect. So of course, the competitive community had to come together in order to create ban lists to improve the competitive format, because some games actually played pretty well competitively even if it wasn't made for it. And to better improve the competitive aspect of a game means to remove a lot of the jankiness from it. And because you couldn't make the developers remove something from a game to make it more competitive, ban lists were basically the next best thing. So things that were overpowered or just not good in a competitive scene were put on that ban list to not be played in a competitive match. Obviously nowadays, with the rise of competitive esports, developers have more of an incentive to directly influence the direction of their game, making competitive ban lists basically moot because any issues that a game might have balancing wise can promptly be removed by the developer through community feedback. But as time goes on and players start playing these competitive games, you actually start seeing a huge rift in the type of people who play these games, especially on something like Apex, who not only has a huge competitive scene, but also a huge casual scene. And casual players are starting to get really sick on all the changes that pro players are asking for, because more than likely Respawn is going to be listening to these pro players who have that much greater influence than the average Joe. And that has caused a lot of conflict in the Apex community. You have the game being balanced around pro play, making changes that maybe the majority of players didn't ask for. And some of those changes may make the game overall less fun. And that's where the conflict is. So now I'm wondering, maybe we should bring back a competitive ban list back into modern games. Now I'm not going to go over every single type of ban list that there is. I'm just going to be focusing on the overall idea of a ban list. Systems like the pick ban system in League play of Call of Duty will be included under this, since it's technically still a ban list. And personally, I think that such a system can actually benefit the community overall. Apex's ranked or competitive mode can be balanced around using this ban list while still keeping a lot of the things that make Apex fun. I'm sure there are a couple of things that pro players really don't want to see in ranked mode anymore, or even ALGS. For example, the big one, that being the Kraber. The Kraber is honestly kind of a meme weapon, especially before the nerf. And many pro players before the nerf were really loud on banning the Kraber from professional play. Thankfully, all we got was a nerf, but imagine how pissed casual players would have been if the Kraber got removed for something that is pretty much a non-issue for them. I think that a competitive ban list would have actually worked a lot better in this situation. Having something that pro players don't want to play with being banned seems to be a lot better than having pro player opinions influence the overall game. And I'm sure it would take a load off of Respawn, because let me tell you, some of these legends in Apex are just never going to fit competitive play, no matter how much you change these values. So why, instead of trying to reel them in for competitive play, just make them as fun as possible, and if they are an issue in competitive play, then just put them on a ban list. Casual players get to keep a fun legend, while pro players don't have to deal with it. But tell me your opinion down in the comment section below. What do you think of this idea of reintroducing ban lists? Do you think it's a good or a bad idea? If you found this video interesting, like it if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, and if you'd like to see more content just like this, make sure to subscribe, and if you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.